Hello, my name is Pastor Paulo Sayende and this is Truth TV. Today will be different because we'll be going a bit technical. We'll attempt to use physical analysis to explain spiritual events in the Bible, just so we can understand the concept of prayers. In Genesis chapter 1 verse 1, the Bible says, in Message translation of the Bible, it reads, "First, God created the heavens and the earth, the visible and the invisible." Now, let's try to create images in our mind just so we can understand today's topic. Let's begin by looking at the visible world. Now, the Bible didn't tell us much about the other planets, but much focus was put on the earth because man resides here. The earth, we were told, was separated into two, water and land. And then God created the sun, another planet, to give light in the day, and the moon, another planet, to give light in the night. Most of the other planets were later discovered by scientists. One thing you may want to understand about the sun is that it has a radius of about 700,000 kilometers, which means it is much bigger than the earth. According to NASA, you will need about 1.3 million Earth to feed the volume of the sun. Actually, the sun is described as medium-sized star, which means there are other stars that are bigger than the sun. Notwithstanding that the sun on its own is 1.3 million times bigger than the earth. Now put the entire galaxy together and imagine the size compared to the earth, which means the earth is just like maybe the football we play in the stadium. So if the earth is that small compared to the entire galaxy, what is the size of man? Maybe an ant. And remember, according to the geography of creation in the book of Genesis, the Bible says that the sun was created to give light to the earth, the moon to give light to the earth, the stars to give light to the earth. Now it appears from the account of Genesis that the entire galaxy was created to minister to the little earth. We know what the sun does to the earth, we know what the moon does to the earth, we know what the stars do to the earth. We may not be able to tell immediately what the other planets do to the earth, but at least we can tell that they help to create balance. As small as the earth is compared to the entire galaxy, why did God create all the energy of the entire galaxy to favor the earth? In addition to the energy of the entire galaxy, God deposited his breath circulating around the world to sustain life, such that doesn't exist in many other planets. According to the book of Genesis, the planets sun, moon, and stars were planted in the sky or the firmament called the first heaven. So which means the entire galaxy planted somewhere around the first heaven. What that means is that as massive as the entire galaxy is, the first heaven envelopes the entire galaxy and is much bigger. Still following the physical analysis, the implication of that is that the inhabitants of this bigger, massive, immeasurable, invisible world must be giants. How really big are the inhabitants of the invisible world? In Revelation chapter 10 verse 2 and 3, a vision was exposed to Apostle John. He said he saw an angel with a face as bright as the sun, and the feet were like pillars. And then he was holding an open scroll in his hands. He planted one foot on the sea and another foot on land. Still with our physical analysis, if you threw a man into the sea, he would be completely lost. But this angel planted one foot on the sea and another foot on land. So clearly, the inhabitants of the immeasurable, invisible world must be giants. Now, these angels excel in strength according to the Bible. Their journey from heaven to earth is at the speed of light. And from the book of Genesis, we were told that God had a favorable bias towards the earth because of man. The point here is, if we have a world of giants that is favorably disposed to the world of man, why don't we take advantage of their size? But how do we connect? In Genesis chapter 28 verse 12, Jacob had a vision. In that vision, a ladder descended from heaven to the earth, and angels ascended and descended on that ladder, and the Supreme Lord stood at the top of the ladder. What that tells you is the possible existence of a portal through which materials can be exchanged between the visible and the invisible world. Now, this is what makes prayer important to the tiny man compared to the giants in the invisible world. I think now we understand what happened when Joshua asked the sun and the moon to stand still. The giants held them down. It is no wonder also Jesus told you and I that if we have faith, we can tell a mountain to be relocated from where it is to the middle of the sea. The reason is because though the mountain is overwhelmingly bigger than man, it is like a grain of sand to the giants. Now, the Bible says these giants are under the control of God, and they were created like the galaxy to minister to man. So in spite of your little size, you have access to the world of giants. So how really big is your mountain when you can pray?